Hey everyone, I'll wait for a couple people to come on. I hope everyone's doing well. It is freezing here. What about y'all? How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a great Thursday. Almost Friday, everyone. Almost Friday. Thank goodness, right? My nose is running. It's itching. Goodness gracious. Ooh, let me shut my ringer up. Almost forgot that. And you know, my husband always calls. Meanwhile. So how's everyone doing today? Good, I hope. I am going to do these faux beers today. These little St. Patrick's Day faux beers. This is the yellow. I have the green. And then I had somebody request, hey Albert, how are you? I had somebody request a Guinness. It is, thank you, thank you. And I did the tops on 2 of them already. I have the 3rd one left because that's how much resin I had left. I did 3 of them. So I'm gonna do the top on this one with y'all today. So you can see how I do the top as well. I'm gonna put the heater on under my feet. My feet are freezing. What about y'all? Is it cold where you are? Are you staying warm, Albert? It's cold here for sure. Hey Mom, how are ya? So I'll kind of go over the supplies that I use. For the beer mixture itself. Hey Alyssa, how are you? I'm making these little faux beers today for St. Patrick's Day. There's the yellow, there's the green, and then I had a special order for the Guinness, which came out really cute. I thought it was a little dark, but she sent me a picture and she got it with the topping on it. Hey honey, how are you? And she said they were perfect. She liked them. So I was excited about it. So we're going to do that today. Very cold for sure. So for the beer part itself, being the color, you're going to need a translucent pigment. You don't want a opaque. You don't want it to be solid, so you want a translucent. And the ones I like to use, that I use all the time, and I reorder, are the Let's Resin. This is the Let's Resin, and it says right on here, translucent epoxy resin dye. 16 of them come in here, and I really only use 3 of them out of there. For the yellow, this yellow here, I use Let's Resin dye yellow, the plain yellow. For the green, I use light green. And then for the Guinness one, I use caramel. So we've got that. Now I did take a cup. I want to make 2 of them. So these are the cups I use. They are plastic. Hey Desiree, how are you? Thank you. That's what I'm going to show you how to make today and how to do the top. These are the little cups I use, and they are plastic. I do get them off of Amazon. If anybody wants a link for them, let me know. And I can put the link in the comments. Thanks, Mom. Ready to move to, I know it's crazy, but where's warmer? My sister lives in Florida and it's really cold there too. She said it was like 20 some degrees at night and then warms up in the 60s. It's crazy. So where is it really warm right now? I don't know where it's warm. The epoxy I use is the amazing clear cast epoxy. It comes in an A and a B. Hey Janine, so the clear coat epoxy, the clear cast epoxy comes in an A and a B, and it's 1-to-1 ratio. Now I want to do 2 cups. I'm going to do 2 little beer cups. So I took it to water in here, and I took it to where I wanted, and I took 2 of them and put them in a cup, and that's where it came. So that's where the mark came to. So I marked 2 cups, and that's where I'm going to pour my A and my B to. Forgot to put a garbage bag in my garbage because this resin's going to need it. The garbage out the other day, and I forgot to put a new garbage bag in there. So we're going to make it work. So if anybody needs these cups, again, I can put them in the link in the comment. So the A I'm going to put to the line. Now after I measured it with water, obviously you dry it all out because you don't want water in there with it. A is always thicker, it's a pain. Now that mark for 2 of them will be for 4 beers. So if you want it for 2 beers, you're gonna just do it with the 1. Because obviously you're mixing A and B, and it's gonna be double the amount. So I'm going to mix it all and then split it in half. So I've got the A, and now I'm gonna do the B. Make sure I get half and half. Move it over here a little. And you should be wearing gloves when you do this. I'm not, of course, but you should be wearing gloves. And it has a little bit of an odor, so a mask wouldn't hurt either. So we've got our A and our B. You get a wipe. Am I freezing up or am I good, guys? So these are even. I'm going to mix one into the other. And it's easier to put B into A because A is always thicker for me. Now this is not 10-minute resin, so you don't have to worry about working real fast so that it doesn't harden up on you. You're going to let this harden overnight before you put the top on it. So put that one. Hey Michelle, how are you? This down a little bit. We're making our St. Patrick's Day beers. We're going to do the green and the yellow, and then we're going to put the top on the Guinness. So we're going to mix this good. And it's okay if there's a few bubbles in here. The bubbles will eventually rise to the top, and you can put the lighter on it, or you can spray alcohol. The alcohol you want should be 90% isopropyl alcohol, just to give a little spritz on the top, which will get the air bubbles out. And even if you do get a few air bubbles, it's not a big deal because you're gonna put the foam on top of it. So when you do the foam, you're really not gonna see anything. And that kind of looks like a beer. Beer has little air bubbles in between there. So if you do keep some in there, that's perfectly fine. So we've got our glass, our cup here that marks for 2 of them. That would be 2. So when you double it up, 1 to 1, you're going to have 4 in here. So I'm going to split it in half so I can get 2 yellow and 2 green out of it. And then see how that has some air bubbles and stuff in there? That's perfectly fine. So now you should have 2 cups with for each. And I just find it easier to do that and then split in half and keep pouring and mixing, and it just seems easier for me. So we got this here. Clear off the edge because I always put my hand or fingers into it, and then it drips all over. So 2 stir sticks, and now again, hey Margarita, how are you? Hey Tisha, thank you for sprinkling. Thank you, Tisha. Prayers for everyone that needs them, for sure. How's your husband doing? How are you and your husband, Tisha? Shutting off my heater, it's getting a little hot. Now again, for the colorant, we're going to use the translucent epoxy resin dye. I use the Let's resin. The colors I use for this yellow are the plain yellow, and then for the green, I use light green. So, and you just kind of eyeball it. Let me shake it up first. You just kind of eyeball it. Squeeze some in. It's about 8 or 9 drops. And then you're going to see how your color is. That looks like a good beer color to me. And that's just the plain yellow, translucent. And you're going to be able to see through it. You do not want the opaque. So we're going to do that one. And then, so that looks good to me, about 8 or 9 drops. And that's for two of the cups. And what I did is, if you missed it, I filled water to where I wanted it, dumped it in twice. If you're going to only do 2 cups, only dump it in once, measure it on 2 cups for the line, and then do your resin. The resin, again, is the clear cast epoxy. And then you will need it to dry overnight before you can do your top. How are you doing, Tisha? Now the green is a light green, so I'm going to start with fewer drops. And I don't mix any colors. I started with 5 drops. See how that looks. Some people mix yellow in there. Some people mix brown in their yellow. This is definitely not light enough, so 5 of them is not enough. I want it a little bit darker than that. Add 4 more. That looks good. So I used about 9 drops as well. And if you want to live on the edge, you can live on the edge and not measure it, but if you got any extra resin you want to do something with. I know my regular resin like this, you can I color it with regular acrylic paint. You cannot do that with this. March 13th. Oh my goodness. Well, good luck, Tisha. Bears would look good sitting on each side of the lucky wood sign that you sell. The beers. Yes, it would. It would look really cute next to the lucky signs with the banner. That would look really cute, Albert. Okay, so we're going to get our 2 cups. We're going to do the yellow. And try to get it in the center, so then that way you don't get it all over the edge, because it's hard to clean it off. The edge, and that's where you kind of want your foam. So I just kind of go like that, stop it from dripping, I catch it, and then I do the second one. And make sure, again, that it says translucent, not opaque. You want to be able to see through it. Got a little bit left. We've got that. Perfect. Now these, again, you're going to have to let sit overnight. So there's our beer color. And the little bubbles will raise up and you won't have so many. And then after it sits for a little bit, I'll show you what else we can do. So now we got these two. I'm going to go with that green, and that was 9 drops of the yellow. And then if you go with the Let's Resin, it was also 9 drops of the light green that would get the color that I'm looking for. So we'll do this one now. I don't do a deep pour. It does not come off away from the plastic. I just do your regular epoxy casting resin. I've been selling these like crazy on my Etsy shop. They're a good seller for sure. Rest of this one. And then that works out perfect, and you don't waste any. You got a whole half of the house pack, Tisha? That's awesome. And then we got this one in there. So then we've got these two green. And again, once it sits a little bit, it'll get clearer and the bubbles will move to the top. Like this yellow starting to get clear a little bit too. And then what you can do is you can take your little lighter. Hi Heidi, how are you? Oh yeah, taxes. I hate tax time. So then you can take your lighter and go along the top, and this is not lighting, of course. But you can take it, oh there it goes, and go around, and that will take some of these air bubbles off, and that won't hurt the plastic. So you can do that, and that'll take a little bit of the air bubbles off on the top. And then I've got some on here. Keep shutting off. I must be getting almost done with the butane's in here. But if you do that, you can see where the air bubbles then kind of disappear. It's just a quick shot. Actually, this is working pretty good this way. And then I'll let it sit here, and then in a couple minutes, when some more come to the top, I will do the same. And I'll do that probably about 3 or 4 times. So, now, the topping. Are y'all waiting for the topping? I used to do it the way that everyone is doing it out there, and it's very expensive by the time you get the two, for that plastic that you need, that you mix with the water. So, of course, I have to experiment. Hey, Janine, you're back. Did you go and see what happened with that news anchor's mom? Did you go look? Hey, Holly, how are you? Hey, Sam. So if you look at these, I used to make my beers this way with this top. Okay, and this is that plastic, that expensive plastic, that $30 plastic stuff that you mix the water with and do that. And then I came up with this way, and look at the foam on that. See the difference on that? Hey Shay, how are you? Hope you're all doing good. So I'm gonna show you how to do it this way, my way, which is a different way, and it's cheaper. Oh my goodness, you have to be so sore, Tisha. So to me, this looks more like a beer top, and it's solid hard. They both are. So we're going to do the Guinness one. So what I do is, most people, the 10-minute resin, okay? This is just plain 10-minute resin, casting resin that turns white after 10 minutes. You only have so long to work with it, okay? This is what I use. I don't use that other expensive plastic stuff. You've been making beers with me. How'd you do, Janine? Did you have your colors? And they did change the name of the regular epoxy. It's clear cast epoxy, and it is a gloss. Doesn't matter, but that's what I use for the A and B. So, I use a styrofoam bowl all the time, okay? And warning, you have to work fast. And when you put it in here, when you put it in your beer, it is going to rise up still a little bit. You still have a little bit of a chemical reaction where it rises up still a little bit. So, I do one beer at a time because you have to work fast. That's good, Janine. I can't wait to see it. So I mark it off at 7.5 cc's. 2 cups of 7.5 cc's because you need an A and a B. And then just a dab of water. I'm not going to use as much water as that's in here. I'm just going to put a little sprinkle in. And again, this is the 10-minute resin that I used for my bananas. It's the 10-minute resin I use for my drizzled pretzels. So if you do resin and you make do the 10-minute resin, that's all I use. I was thinking about it and I'm like, geez, that's expensive. I want to do the beers, but the foam stuff is so expensive. And then I remember when I first started going live, I did a video and I told y'all you can put acrylic paint in regular resin to color it for an opaque, okay? But you cannot put acrylic paint in 10-minute resin because it makes a mess and it foams all over the place. It's a lot of pressure, Tisha. Be careful. Just be careful you don't hurt yourself. So I was thinking about it and I'm like, well, geez, it made such a big mess and it foamed all over. I have to experiment and see, will this work on the top for beers? And it does. And it's a heck of a lot cheaper. And if you're a crafter and you do resin, or, you know, in some of the molds and whatnot, you've got it. So you're not spending on a lot of money on something else that you're not going to use. It's going to sit. It's going to go bad. So I need, and I have my cups marked, A and B. So I've got A, and I'm going to use 7.5 mLs. And then B, 7.5. So you're using two types of different resins for this. I know, right, Sam? Surprise, surprise. Chemistry, gotta love it. And it's stuff you'll have on hand if you do resin. Makes it so much better. I need a wipe because this is dripping off the side. And I really like the way it looks better. It's foamier. I think it looks more realistic. See the difference? The yellow one is the one that I do with the 10-minute resin top. Oh, you're welcome, Tisha, and good luck. And I always do good luck to you. That's rough. That's really hard, especially doing it yourself. And I always use a styrofoam bowl, and I have my big wooden spatula part. Now you're going to mix. You're going to mix these two together in the styrofoam bowl until it gets a little white, and then you're just going to add a little splash of water. All you need is a little water to give that chemical reaction. Then you're going to keep mixing, and you'll see once it starts getting hard and raising a little bit, not a lot because it goes really quick, and then you can't use it anymore. Then you're going to put it in your cup, and then it's going to raise a little bit more, so don't fill it to the top. And then you're done. You can let it sit. Now if you, A and B, because I put them both in here, that way I only do one at a time, like I said, because that's all you can do. Now let me mix this for you. Mix it up until it's like a little bit clear when it gets together. And keep scraping your edges, okay? And then the water I'm gonna add, look at, I just do, watch. Just a little splash of water. That's it. Now you're gonna mix. Scrape your edges and mix. Now don't forget, this has a 10-minute setting time. It's not, there's no bubbles in here yet, not doing anything. Not doing anything. You're starting to get a few bubbles in here now, but you're gonna keep going. It's not starting to thicken at all yet. And it's a gauge, you're gonna have to play with it, but you're not wasting a lot of material now. You're starting to get a few more bubbles, starting to thicken up, a few more bubbles. Can you see the bubbles starting to form in here as I'm turning it? There we go. And it'll get a little bit of a yellow color to it. You see it's starting to harden up a little bit, And then right before it's completely finished, you're going to take it and you're going to pour it in here, like so. It's going to keep creating more bubbles. I usually go till it's not quite to the top, right till about here. Now watch, you're going to bubble a little bit more and it's going to rise. Bubble a little bit more and it's going to rise, almost like a yeast. And then some of your bubbles bust. Hey Karen, how are you? We are making fake little beers. And then now the chemical reaction is done, and look at all that. Look at the foam with the 10-minute resin. Can you see that? And that's what you have. And then that's all done. And then see your bowl. Now this is not usable anymore. So this is why I do one beer at a time, because there's no way you'd be able to get a second beer out of this. So, and then you've got your bubbles in there. So just that little bit of water itself and the 10-minute resin will get it going. And then it's just a trial and error thing. And then you fill it 3/4 of the way, it'll keep rising up a little bit and then shrink down. Isn't that cool? So there's the difference. That's why I kept this one to show it. But I don't, this is the one with that plastic that everyone's doing. And then this is the one with the 10-minute resin. And it's like a plastic top, but it has your bubbles in there. And then again, the resin on the bottom is different. It has to set for till tomorrow, and then you can do the top on it. So what do y'all think? So here's the bottoms in the plastic cups. That'll set overnight, and then you can put the foam top on. And then there's the green. Did anyone need me to go over the colors or anything again? Or the resin that I used? My A and my B, I'm done making for today. So what do y'all think? Are you gonna make some? Welcome back, Heidi. You like them all? I was nervous about the Guinness, and but the lady loved them. They came out, she said they came out perfect for her project. That's the color. So then I offer the 3 for my shop then. The yellow, the Guinness, and then the green. I'll show you this green. Not this one, I won't sell it though. But I mean, you could, but yeah, that's how I used to make them. So yeah, everyone should have that 10-minute resin hanging around. How many drops for the Guinness? I used about 9 or 10, the same thing. So the color ultimately is about the same, about 9 drops. And again, it's the Let's Resin translucent epoxy resin dye. Light green for that green. I used plain yellow for the yellow. There's a light yellow, there's a dark yellow, there's a lemon yellow. I just used plain yellow. And for the Guinness, I use caramel. 9 drops of each, you're good. I took my cup, I measured where this cup I wanted to fill. I measured water in here to where I wanted it to be. If you're only gonna do 2 cups, you would mark it, you know, where that is. With 1 cup, because you have to do 1 to 1. So when you put them over, you'll have that. For me, I split it in half and did 2 yellow and 2 green, and it's perfect. Now again, you can leave that like that with the little air bubbles coming to the top, because beer has that. And then once you put the foam on it, you don't see anything. You don't see anything. But isn't that cool? So I told everyone I would show you how to make them, how I make them, and the cheaper way, instead of buying that special resin that's really, really expensive for plastic. 10-minute resin works perfectly fine. And you do not use the 10-minute resin for the bottom part. So what y'all think? Y'all gonna go make them? You're welcome, Desiree. And then the cups, these are plastic cups. I got them off of Amazon. I think there's 12 of them in a package. The Let's resin dye I got off of Amazon as well. And then the 10-minute resin you can get at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or you can get it online. I do find that the resins are cheaper at Hobby Lobby than they are at Michael's, even with the 20% off coupon. So if you're gonna get resin at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I do find that Hobby Lobby's base price, because it doesn't go on sale, is cheaper than the Michael's, even with the 20% off coupon, unless you've got like some vouchers or something you're going to use. So yeah. So there we go today. That's what I have. I am going to finish up a little bit for y'all, so I use my hour. I'm going to take these, put them to the side. And if anybody makes any different ones, let me know, for sure. Definitely let me know. Let me see how they come out. I'd like to see them. And then I do use I always use styrofoam. I don't know if it would make a difference with the chemical reaction or not, but I always do use a styrofoam bowl and a wooden tongue depressor, popsicle stick, whatever you call it. Whatever you call it. Now I am going to do a little bit more on my, this is my St. Patrick's Day hat for y'all. I did the little belt loop there, and I've got a few little clovers that I have to do yet to finish up. Now the plain ones that do not have the extra, I did the same color as the hat. I know, Janine, you've been saying you wanted to make them for years, and it's super easy. It looks intimidating. It really looks intimidating, but it's really not. It's not. It's so easy. I want to see yours when you're done. Now for the hat itself and these clovers, I used Folk Art Thicket, B-O-S-Q-U-E-T. And I did the clovers and the hat in this Thicket Bouquet by Folk Art. The other one that is really close that I'm doing on my birds is Deco Art Americana Avocado. So you could use that dark green as well. Then I have this color green, and this color green here is Shamrock by Anita's. I'm looking for another green just like this, and I can't find it, so I have to go to Walmart and get another Shamrock color. But that is Shamrock, and I really like it a lot for St. Patrick's Day. So I did this one here in Shamrock. Now I want Lily Pad. This is by Anita's. It's a lily pad. I want to do this one as well to give a couple different, there's shamrocks and clovers both in here. So I've got lily pad. Keep a mason jar with my sponges in it here. And put some tape down. Hey, Mrs. P, how are ya? You'll have to watch the replay. We did the little beers and the topping for the little beers, which I do a different way than everyone else, which is cheaper to me than buying something that I don't already have on hand. because I have that on hand. So, whoops, I don't need this on here. I need this one. So I've got this one here, I've got this one here, and I've got the one on top. So this one and this one I want to do in that lily pad. Is everyone going to watch the Super Bowl this weekend? I like seeing all the commercials. My husband did show me, I love the Budweiser commercials every year, and I guess on YouTube they had a little interview and a sneak peek, and they showed you the actual commercial for this year. Yes, definitely. Watch the replay. Watch the replay on how I do the little beers and the colors. And they're perfect little tiered tray fillers. Perfect little tiered tray fillers. And then I'm going to do another shamrock one and put that one do another coat on that one. So I like watching all the commercials, and I like having the chicken wings and the nachi foods. The nachi foods, I call them. The finger foods. When I was in New York, my mom would always make chicken wings and roast beef sandwiches. I gotta get a new. I have to go to Walmart and get a new shamrock. Isn't it? I had tears in my eyes. It made me cry. The new Budweiser commercial, it did. It made me cry this year. Did everyone else see it? Did anyone else see it? But it did. It made me cry. And they had the little baby Clydesdale, and that's my favorite. I love those little the Clydesdale horses. They're not little when they're big, but I love me some Clydesdale horses. They're my favorite. I like going to the fair and seeing them every year. But yeah, the commercial this year made me cry. It was touching, very touching. And then I'll put a second coat on these. You cried too? Oh, you need to see it, Janine. You need to see it. But yeah, I like watching I like watching the Super Bowl itself, but I love seeing all the commercials. I was at Walmart the other day and I forgot. Anita's is the only place you can get it is at Walmart. And I forgot to get it when I was there the other day. So now I gotta go back. They had it on Facebook. Oh, did they? My husband brought it up for me on YouTube. I didn't know they had it on Facebook. Did they have the whole commercial or just clips of it? So we've got that there. Now with this dark, I am going to take some of this lily pad on a finger dauber, and I'm going to do the sides of this a little bit. So it's not so just plain green here. The whole thing? And I'm surprised because usually they don't release anything until the Super Bowl. That's their big debut. So I was shocked that it was out. And while it's still wet, you can go across with the baby wipe if you need to, if you put too much on. Because I have a habit of doing that. And then I am going to put just a tad more down because I'm going to go on top of some of these. The ones that were permanent that I left with that avocado color. I'm just going to go on and do the edges and stuff and give it a little bit of different color. And this hat has both Clovers and Shamrocks on it. So I don't have to keep singing my song to figure out which one they are. In the back you could do the green as well, or you can baby wipe it in burnt umber or some other type of wood color. So do all of you have like Super Bowl parties or anything? So you've got that there with your offsetting a little bit. And then do another coat on this. And then I will go a little bit darker on the shamrock color, and I will do that avocado to make it a little darker on the edges and reverse it instead of going light. And then I do come in with white at the very end, and I just hit it a little bit on all of them with a white from like the sun coming in and catching them. And then with this lily pad, I will go in with the shamrock color, this one here, and highlight those. Let those dry. So you're incorporating all three colors throughout the whole hat. See, there's a lemon yellow in there. I don't use that one. I just use plain yellow. Where's my white? My white, like Janine said today, my favorite, just like hers, is the Deco Art Americana Snow Titanium White. Because, you know, I got to use Harley's toothbrush and do a little bit of, let me move these. I got to do a little bit of splattering. and then this would be the third or fourth time that I'm doing this, and then that will be it because it's starting to set up and get a little bit thicker now. And then that'd be it with those. And it's got a little bit of a heat to it there. I'll move these on the side because I'm selling those. I don't want those ruined. No Super Bowl party there. You're having a live sale. That's a good thing, Sam. Make money, right? What time is your live sale on Sunday, Sam? 6? Your usual? I'm going to go in with the thicket or the avocado for the green. And then the other one I have is this one. 6 o'clock. Okay. I will definitely check you out, Sam. What are we selling? The usual sprinkles, straws, wreaths. Do you have anything different that you're selling? So we got that, and then with this lily pad, I'm going to go in with that shamrock color. How pretty that is with that shamrock on that lily pad. And don't forget the stem too. I forgot the stem on these too. And then we've got this one. And then I am going to take a white one. I didn't get two out. I'm going to take a white one and go along some of the edges just real lightly, like the sun is almost hitting them. So we got this one. And then don't forget your stem as well. And then we've got these guys. So ultimately each clover shamrock has 3 colors on it. Your base color, a little bit of highlighting in a darker or a lighter color, and then just the tip, very, very tips with the white glistening from the sun or the snow or whatever. So you've got your shadowing. And then I will still do my dots and dashes as well. New sprinkles, straws, DIY cupcake kits. Oh, how nice. And beaded items. I'll have to check it out, Sam. So we've got those there. And now I can splatter them along with the hat, and then we can glue them on. And I have my little toothbrush to splatter, or Harley's little toothbrush to splatter. Not a lot, just a little to give it a little something something. On this one, and we should be good. There we go. Put this in here. Clean off my thumb. I'll go over the schedule at this morning from 5 to 7 with Shelby with Designs by T-Rex. Then we had a little break. Ginger was not on today. Michelle with Crafty Ma'am was on at 9. Jan Ann was not on. So then at 11 o'clock was Cece with Dragonflies and Hearts. At 12 o'clock was Teresa with Flowertown Crafts. At 1 o'clock was Janine with Georgia Morning Glories. Then it's me. After me at 3 o'clock is Debbie with Paper Sweeties. At 4 o'clock is Pam with Crafting with Mrs. P. At 5 o'clock is Kathleen Cabardilla. At 6 o'clock is Sam with Comay's Crafting Corner. And then to wrap us up at 7 o'clock is Shay with Shay's Creations. Raymond's not on today, so you won't be able to catch him. So Shay finishes us off today. And then I will go around. Because I do the finger dauber and the sponge, I do get some on the over. So I do like to go up and clean it up with either black or brown. I did decide to go with the black today. And then I will do the back, the baby white method with the burnt umber. And I do like to clean up, even if I don't have any spooged over from the acrylic paint, I do like to go over it because a lot of times the wood is uneven and it makes it all one color and unified because of cutting it on the laser. So it just kind of cleans it up, makes it look all nice and pretty. So we've got that. So I will go through and do the shamrocks and clovers as well. And then I will glue everything on and then do my dots and dashes. Does anyone have any questions on the beers or anything? I have 2 minutes. Hey, Mitchell, how are you? I said that right. Welcome, thanks for joining. You can catch my replays on my business page, and I do upload my videos with my projects to my YouTube channel, Kim's Gifts and Decor. So if you're not already following me, please go on there, like it, follow me, share me. I really appreciate it. So after me, please check out Debbie from Paper Sweeties and anybody else you may have missed that was on today, and whoever was on live sale yesterday. You can still go on and hit hashtag replay. And if you want anything, you can private message people. And there's crafters and designers going on tomorrow and through the weekend, selling and crafting, so you can catch them as well. I will see y'all on That's the South in me. I will see all of you on Debbie's page. And thank you for joining me. And if anybody has any questions on what I did today, please reach out and let me know. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Stay safe and stay warm. God bless. Bye.